Hello, Greg from Balloon Market here and welcome to BMTV. Right, this week is the second part of our Dr. Bob special. We met Dr. Bob recently and he told us a little bit more about himself and gave some amazing, invaluable advice for anybody in the industry. And now this second part of that special is how to make that amazing golfer that you saw on the table in the first part. So without further ado, let's go over to Greg and Bob. So, Dr. Bob, tell us about what you're going to show us. So,
right. The golfer.
The golfer.
This can be translated into a footballer, a rugbyer. Rugby player.
Yeah,
you know, or something else.
Yeah.
Obviously not with the bags.
Okay, so you've created the bag. They've got a bag on the back of the golfer here, but you can do a bag separately like that.
We could place this onto a cake board and have that just as it is. So it is a smaller design. We can have a couple of foils on there with number one dad or happy birthday John.
Okay.
And you can do them in all different sizes.
Yeah.
From 160, 260 and 350 to full-size bags.
Full-size bags?
Full-size bags.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that'd be an amazing present. Okay, so we're going to do this. Does it always have to be this size? You say 160s. Can you do smaller?
I've got something here I can show you.
Okay, yeah. You just go and get it. Go down the stairs. That's it. To the left. To the right. Okay.
Here we go.
There you go.
Here we are. This is a smaller version. Obviously using the 160Q bag.
Yep.
And we have a little character made out of 260Qs. Another lovely presentation. That's a larger one, but obviously simplified. It looks lovely as well. So.
Yeah, I really like that because this looks like the green of the green. So
it's a simple thing, a simple effect to do. All I've used is a thin cake board.
Yeah.
And placed a 16-inch balloon over the top of it.
You know what? We should do one of those balloon basics where we do have our balloon basics shows. They just show balloon basics, but we've never shown that one where you push it down onto the inflated balloon.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, maybe we'll do that.
I've left this on. This was normally cut off, and then we tape around the side to make sure it doesn't come off.
No, that looks great.
Okay, so that is our simplified one, and obviously you can make this bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do.
Okay, so which one are we going to make? Are we going to make the little one or the big one?
Well, should we do the big one?
Let's do the big one. Let me move the... I'll take this one and put him down here. I'll just walk downstairs.
Right, should we start with the golfer?
Let's start with the golfer.
Okay then. Right, as I've done the Blue Peter.
Absolutely.
Pre-made our bits and pieces.
So these are all 260s, is that right?
These are all 260Qs. I have to go back down to the basement.
All right, okay. Go downstairs.
Here we go, I'm back.
He's back.
Okay, now to start with, you can start at the top or the bottom. So some people say to me, where do I start? Well, I'll start at the feet if you like.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a scrap black 260Q because you don't have to use full balloons because we've got a scrap jar.
Yeah.
So you can use bits and pieces.
Okay.
They do come in handy. Now to get it to this point, basically you've got your scrap balloon.
Yeah.
You've got no lip on there, so all you do is just stretch the tip of the balloon.
Yeah.
And then we inflate.
Sorry, I left the pump down in the cellar again. Okay.
Here we go. And then all you do is place the pump on and it inflates. So that avoids any knots on the end, or, you know, we can use it on the end of the ear.
So if you didn't do that, that would start inflating from the other end?
That's right, yeah.
Ah.
So it's what we call a reverse inflation.
Okay.
Okay.
I've probably been shown that before, but it seems new to me, so I probably forgot.
Okay, I'm just going to give it a gentle squeeze to force the air down.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more you leave exposed here, the more easier it is to twist.
Yeah.
Okay, now, so I'm going to squeeze that gently with my thumb and finger here, so that it makes the balloon a little bit softer. I'm going to twist it so it's about 4 fingers in depth. I'm going to twist it about 3 or 4 times. Then I'm going to squeeze gently again and make an approximate 2-finger bubble. Now notice I'm holding both sides at all times. Now this bubble has to be soft because we're going to twist it together in a minute. I think you've done pinch twist before.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fold it over so I can get the same size on this side. Gently squeeze again. And there we go. Got 2 bubbles the same. Twist it. And then I'm going to roll it round. Now I can twist this one that way and the other one the other way. Or I can just bring the balloon over the top and roll it round into a figure of 8. Here you are.
Okay, and that's
all we need to do. Then I'll just cut that off there. There's foot number 1.
All right.
Okay, and then I repeat that now. Give it a gentle squeeze, measure.
So you do that by eye, just comparing it to that one, yeah.
You know, you get used to it after a lot of practice. Again, make sure it's nice and soft. You need a 2-finger bubble again. By putting this in between here, what happens is you create a little bit of elasticity and they're not straining too much at the neck.
Okay.
Give it another squeeze again. Again, you're giving yourself a little bit to tie on. Twist it round. And as I did, all I did is pull that, as you can see, stretching over the top and rolled around. It's letting the balloon do the work rather than wear and tear of your hands.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you do a figure of 8, then it's fine. Cut it, lay it down slowly, and there's our feet.
2 feet.
Okay.
Excellent.
Next is our legs. So we need to, I use my body for measuring.
Okay.
You can get a tape out. I know friend and colleague Colin, he measures his stuff.
Yeah.
I'm able to do it by eye. We've all got our own techniques.
Yeah.
None of them is wrong.
Yeah.
If we get to the end result, it's perfect.
So what are you using? Your fingers?
I'm using my fingers, my hands, so I say 2 fingers, 3 fingers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm basically stretching mine out because obviously everyone's got different sizes. But if you use your body part, I think, oh, I need it there to there.
Okay. But you've always got it.
You've always got it, yeah. And you can remember. So roughly, I want thumb to finger stretched out like that. So that's going to be around 6 inches. But before I do that, I'm just going to give it a gentle squeeze so it's not too firm. Because obviously, with a balloon, if we don't give it a squeeze and make it softer, it's going to expand, especially with it warm here today. It could pop. So again...
So do you do that with every time you do a twist like this? Okay.
Yeah, sometimes we need them firm, but I always let a little bit of air out, depending on how soft I need the balloon. And fold over so I can measure here, direct, so they're in line. You'd want it like that, so they're perfectly in alignment. Give that a gentle squeeze as well. Twist to the end. So you see the line there? We twist to there. And then what I'm going to do then, obviously I'm bold in both, I bring that knot in, wrap it around, through the centre, back again. Oh, what am I doing that for? Hang on, I reverse that, sorry.
Sorry, I thought you were quizzing me. What am I doing that for? I don't know, Bob, I don't know.
Sorry. No, so basically, I was thinking of making something else then. So
I see, okay.
So I went to making something else. So all I've done is 2 sausages the same length.
Yeah.
I'm going to let that go now. Come back to this end. Give it a squeeze. And then I got that piece there. I got the 2 bubbles. All I'm going to do now... Whoops, sorry, Rob. So I got my piece on the end. I'm going to tie the knot, but I'm not going to tie it too close to the balloon. I'm going to bring it back a little bit.
Yep.
So when I fold these back over, I'm able to twist them together, and I've got the same size. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going to use.
So what were you going to make?
I don't know. I was getting carried away, I think. So I just loop that around, tie it in there. 2 knots, as tight as you can.
Yeah.
And you can use scraps for this, rather than wasting the whole balloon. And then just cut off the end. Now then, the body comes next. And the body I'm going to do almost the same size as the legs. With a twist. Again, sorry, twist. This is what I was going to make.
Ah, I see.
Right, so you twist several times, fold over. Give it a gentle squeeze again. Twist down here. So they're the same length. And then we do this. In, around, in and around. And that's enough to tie it.
So you lined those up perfectly. And one thing I did notice when I was looking at your work before we met today is that your work always seems very precise. Is that intentional? Are you,
yeah. Well,
is that important?
I try to keep consistency because if you keep standards and make sure that everything looks great, it becomes habit.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can focus on, it just becomes second nature.
Yeah, yeah.
And rather than, do that quickly, but I can do some things without even thinking about it now. Because they call it memory muscle.
Muscle memory,
muscle
yeah.
memory, yeah. So, and that's where it comes from.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, measure up, give it a gentle squeeze so it's not too hard, measure, Now there's several ways to do this next bit. Okay. We can do what we call a roll through. So that one's twisted several times. I can take my thumbs on there, push it through, and roll it around a couple of times.
Ah, right, okay.
And that fixes together.
Yep.
Or I can use a bit of 260 and tie it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which do you prefer?
That the roll through.
Yeah, it seems very easy.
Yeah. And then another gentle squeeze, and I got my measurement. Now here, I can pull these two together, use the knot to pull it in and around, and this time I can gently tie off.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if I needed that, I could keep it, but I won't. What I'll do is I'll just cut that off. And then I'm going to create just 2.5 to 3 fingers, very soft bubble. Again, stretch it.
So when you say very soft, that means you're just squeezing it harder.
Squeezing it harder to force the air out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again. Measure them. See, that one's a little bit too small, so I just make them a bit bigger. You can control the air back and forth. So there we go. Twist that around once, twice. Now I can leave go of that. Sorry, Rob, I should say. Then, like I did earlier on, rather than twist them, I'm going to bring that piece of balloon inside, twist it round in a figure of 8, and there's my pinch twist without straining my fingers.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Then I line all these up. Whoops-a-daisy. Didn't tie it properly. Cut it a bit tighter. There we go.
So what happened there?
Where I cut it too short.
Okay.
I didn't leave enough on the end.
So when things like that happen, you can still fix
No problem. That's why I'm Dr. Bob.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we are. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a piece in the centre of there.
Yeah.
Which I've done inside that one. If you've got too much of a gap, you can just put a softer piece of a...
So you just, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Just get another small piece.
I'll show you how it's done. Twist that around. Measure. It's slightly smaller than the inside one. Pop it in. And there we are.
Yeah.
And obviously, I could ask you to hold that for me, please. Thank you very much. And then I'll make sure this end is secured off, like so. And then I've got myself a tying point.
Ah, I see. Very good.
So I wrap that around, or you could have left the blue piece on the end and just pulled it right the way through. I'm just going to tie it around in the figure of 8, like so. There's our feet. Use the ends of these. Get rid of the mechanics. I always do that.
You sound like Mark. He's always saying, hide the mechanics, hide the mechanics.
Yeah, it's all about quality.
Yeah.
You know. There we go. Now we bring the next one in. Give it another twist. Always twist the same way, because then you can reverse the twist and undo it. And if you keep twisting different ways, or tying in different ways, you've got less chance of repairing it.
So you knew there that you were tightening it because you always twist in that direction?
Yeah. There we are. There's our legs.
Excellent.
Okay. Now then, now the next thing, thank you, is our hands. Now with that one there, we got a yellow 260. And inflate this one. You can use one 260Q or some scraps. I'm tying a knot in there, and I'm stretching the knot slightly, okay? And then I'm going to tie a piece of balloon on the end, like so. You can use yellow or blush, because we're going to use this for a hand. And then basically, I'm going to do a tulip twist. So I'm going to put my thumb and finger on the knot, like that. Push it in very short, because obviously we don't want it too big. Pull my finger out. Hold the knot in my thumb. Pull this both opposite directions, so it stretches the balloon. Twist it around 2, 3, 4 times, and then push back. There we go. My hand will be just past there, so gently squeeze and twist. Again, I twist several times so I can use that to wrap around the pinch twist in the top. I'm doing the same thing again, twisting it round. So now when that goes in there, at least it gives it a bit of space.
So that was a figure of 8 again there.
Another figure of 8. And all I need to do then is cut a little bit of this off. If your bubble comes undone, you can always add a 160 yellow in there just to tie it off.
All right. Okay.
Here we go. Oops. Tie that one on there. A nice knot. Don't worry about the scraps. Pull that so you've got the right size. If it's too big, just squeeze the air out. If it's too small, squeeze the air back in.
Aye.
Okay.
Don't know what that noise was. Aye.
Oh, hi.
Aye.
Again, we're doing the same thing. Twist it around several times and push the knot in. Gently squeeze and measure.
It's that consistency that looks so impressive to me.
Yeah. It's constant. When I make these things and I'm teaching, I always tell the students, if you like, to keep practicing. It's okay to do something like this, but you can sell it for a good price unless it looks the part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't go and buy a sofa if it's got all bits hanging off it, would you? You know? Again, cut that off. We can save that to use that for later if anything happens. Just going to tie a knot in the end of there. It's not necessary if you do a figure of 8. So then all I can do is just push that there, go around that one, and there we go. And if I want to, I can just bring it round again to secure it. And there we have our 2 little hands, twist the neck together. There's our headless body. Okay.
Coming together, isn't he?
He is coming together, yeah. And now we're going to do our hands. And all we need is just a little pinch twist on this. Obviously you aren't too big, do we? But you can make this into a cartoon character. You can make a big head or a little head. You know? Yeah. Sometimes I've been asked to do caricatures. I can't even say that word. Okay, let some air out. Tie again. Give a little squeeze. And then we measure again. See, I'm almost the same size again. When you've been doing it for a long time, it does become sort of natural. You sort of know where you're going.
Yeah.
It's half the battle then. Because you've got the techniques mastered. And there we go. We'll save that just in case. And then all I'm going to do then is just stretch these 2 together, loop it around a few times, tie not once but twice. And notice you don't need a huge length. Now what I did earlier on, I cut too short, so I need to leave a couple of millimeters there. Okay. And push it back in. And you've hit the mechanics, the same thing on the other side. Is this okay?
Yeah.
And then what we can do then is a gentle shock twist. So a shock twist means that it'll push the arm out in a different direction. Okay. So I can either pinch it like that.
Ah, I don't like that. Like groove.
Or you can just...
Oh, no, Mark did that before. Don't like it, don't like it.
There we are, and there's our man. So we make the head next. So, as I said, this is based on a David Grist design.
Yeah.
I think it was the skateboard man, I can't recall exactly, but it's a simple body, and the head is based around what he designed.
Okay.
So I've got a 260Q with a little bit off the end, and basically this is going to be a bunch of sausages.
Ah.
So I'm going to give it a squeeze. Now I can make a different character or keep it similar to that one.
Yeah, similar to this one.
Okay. So again, I'm going to measure it there, so I can have a smaller head if I want to.
Yeah.
I can use it on 160s or 260s. I'm going to do it it's almost, it's just a fraction smaller than the other balloons.
So when you say sausages, you mean this sort of thing again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bubbles they are, but some people call them sausages. They're bubbles.
They're more like sausages.
Yeah. So what I'm doing there, as you notice, I'm squeezing the balloon. And when I tight, you see how soft that is?
Yeah.
Because the amount of twisting we're going to do is going to push.
Okay.
So it's fresh as a wing. Okay. You squeeze. And if it's too small, squeeze again and get to the right size.
Yeah.
And as I did earlier on, just stretch that knot around and tie in. And that's just all locked, so my hand is free now. And then what I can do is put it against your body, if you want support, give it a squeeze and get your next measurement.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? I can leave go of that now. Here, what I'm going to do is add a very soft bubble in for the ear. Now with this one, I have actually put a little twist in there, which I'll make the ear a little bit bigger so I can show you that. You can leave the ear like this if you want to, or you can make it a little bit more detailed.
Okay.
Okay, should we do it detailed?
Let's do it detailed.
Okay. So I'm just going to twist that around there, come over and just roll it around so it's locked.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come in and do another bubble, smaller than the last one. There we go. Now you notice we've run out of balloon.
Oh, right.
It's not an issue. As long as I keep hold of that end. Let the air down this way. Tie the knot off. Oops. There we go. And now I can do the other ear. Make sure it's the same size. Or we could give him a cauliflower here.
Yeah, we could. So if it's one of those rugbyers or whatever it was.
Yeah, the rugbyers. Tongue tied in, I think.
Rugby ears. Rugby ears. Rugby ears. Oh,
Ah, I like it. I like it. You're on the ball there. Oops. Sorry. Not to worry. We can rectify that.
Oh, what's gone wrong?
I didn't twist it properly and just let go. So I just add another one in.
It's a good job there's a doctor in the house.
That's right, indeed. So there we are. So we're back to where we were.
Yeah.
Again, we want two soft bubbles to come across the front of the head, like so. Okay. And then I'm going to keep hold of this time.
Okay.
And just gently squeeze and twist it around. Now, I could have just used that if I wanted to and twist it around to lock it into place. So there's all different ways of doing things. There we have 3 bubbles. I'm going to put the last one in above this to create the forehead. And then lock it around the ear. What I've done with the other one here is I've actually added the 160Q in there to give it a bit more bulbous shape to it.
Yeah.
So all I got to do is get rid of that. And then I can add the 260Q in. Now, sorry, 160Q. Now we can put the eyes in at this stage. Save messing around. And I've got a 160Q. Now we can give it big eyes, little eyes.
Give him big eyes. Big eyes.
Big eyes, is it? Big eyes.
Let's do big
Okay.
eyes.
Okay. And again, do
One big, one little.
you want to do that?
I don't know.
Isaiah?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Call him Isaiah, one eye bigger than the other. So there we go. But it looks better when it's...
Yeah, do whatever you like.
Okay, so
Okay, yeah.
and then that's locked into there at the moment. Now to get rid of that piece, I'm going to make another bubble and cut that end off and keep a hold of this end so it doesn't unravel like it did just now.
Yeah.
We've got a knot tied in there, and then all I'm going to do is twist them around and bring them to the back of the ear. Back into place, same thing again. Back of the ear, back into place. And there are our eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Now, the next thing we can do is add this 160Q in to add some more light to it. Should we give him some of the eyes? Eyebrows, I should say.
Yeah.
So all I'm doing is using the ear as an attachment. I'm going to come over the top here, measure so it comes into the centre. And do the same on the other side. Now, I've got to make sure that this is tied in properly before and then all I'm going to do is use the tail end of it and use that up around one side to the other, around the ears.
So that's just to give it a bit more body.
That's it, give it a bit more body. There we go. And then...
That looks a bit like a monkey, doesn't it?
It does. It's, again, David Grishead, but I think Buster Bloom uses the same principle for the monkey's head.
Ah, right, okay.
Buster Bloom from America. Now I'm going to give him a nose.
Oh.
Right. You can use this to attach him.
So you really do make the most of all your scraps. You don't waste
No.
anything.
Well, not being tight, but it's money at the end of the day.
Look after the pennies, and the pounds look after themselves.
That's right. There we are. And then all we have to do then is just roll these back into place. Roll that one into place. And there are our eyes. Now we've got the little mesh here, but that's going to be tidied up shortly.
All right, okay. How are we going to do that?
Ah, that's the magic.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to use the hair.
Hair? Oh yeah, the hair.
Yeah. Now, should we give him a small nose or a big nose?
You keep asking me these questions.
It's your design.
Give him a small nose.
A small nose, okay. So what I've done is a soft bubble.
Yeah.
Holding the end. There we are. Now if I leave it like this and tie a knot a little bit further from the end, what happens is I can squeeze it and make the shape that I want.
Ah, right, yeah.
And all I'm going to do is drop that behind the head, so like so. Bring that over the top. And tie. Yeah, and just cut them pieces off.
So how many times did you have to practice this before you got it?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose it's just adding all the different techniques together. I wouldn't like to think of the hours I've put in, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But
Because you just do it. You've obviously done it many, many, many times now, and it's just natural. Like.
So there we go. There's our character. As you can see, we can make him sad. We can puff his nose up the other way.
Yeah.
So he looks a little bit punched.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to show you about these bits in the ears. Should I do that now?
Show me that.
Ooh, I should have got a 160 pump.
We do have some.
Yeah. Okay. It's running around to the basement, though, isn't it?
It's a long way. It's a long way.
Here we go. And all we're going to do is 2 small bubbles. Tie them together. Two knots.
So do you think people can learn these sort of techniques just through watching videos, for instance? Or do you think...
Yeah,
because we've talked about training. We went to the Q Tour and the people there saw the value in training. But is there... Because for me, watching this, if I was watching this on a video and doing it and it all went horribly wrong, well, I wouldn't know what to do.
Well, you just start from where you left off.
Okay.
If one of these bubbles popped, you just... With the way I've twisted the balloons, if one goes down, you've got the chance to replace another one without losing all the balloons.
All right.
But that comes with experience, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And practice.
Yeah, I just wondered if you thought, because there's obviously a lot of videos out there that people do, how to do this, how to make that. And I just wondered if you saw that there was any benefit to actual physical training.
I think physical training is better because some people can learn off a video, some can learn out of books, and some prefer to be... I think the advantages of being training people up front, you can put them right where their mistakes
That's what I was thinking, because if I was there and I did something wrong and you were there and you could say, no, do it that way.
Yeah, I could show you a different technique or, you know, because this isn't the only way to do it. There's lots of other different ways and other different techniques. But when you've got a trainer, they can say, oh, what if I did such and such, like you said, you know, we can put you right. Or, so all I can do is just take this and gently slot that inside there. So it comes out the back, and that's a more detailed ear. So the more time you spend on it, obviously it's costing more. So you can keep it simple, but still keep it effective. It's like with the smaller character I showed you earlier, the head was much quicker. Yeah. Just a couple of minutes to make. This one obviously has got, the more detail you add into it, creates more value and more time and more expense.
So do you... Do you then have these on display in your shops? You'd have something like that and the smaller one, so you're giving people options?
Well, fortunately for me, I have a large shop window. I think it's 17 feet long.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, and it's over 2 meters high. Yeah. So it is a proper shopping space.
Put a lot in there.
Yeah. One window took me 4 days because it was that detailed.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a Christmas window. Yeah. I built a castle and characters, done it for the launch of Frozen.
Oh, so, yeah, I think I saw that online somewhere. Was it your Facebook page or something like that?
Yeah, it's on the Facebook page, yeah.
Impressive.
So what I'm going to do now is just create the hair. I've twisted that in, and just what we did here, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. There's a little pinch, 2 bubbles there. Yeah. And wrap it round, and that creates these little sideburns. And it hides the mechanics there. And then I'm going to come straight across, give that a little squeeze to this side, measure. I always twist before I wrap it round. And then if it pops, you might be able to catch it and not lose the bloom. Twist that around. Again, making another soft bubble. Another soft bubble. So if you're doing a lot of these for Father's Day, you could keep it simplified so that you can make more of them, but you can make them a day or so in advance as well, which is really good. And then I'm going from the back of here and just going back and forth now to... When we come to the last bit, I always twist and hold it because you pop it and then it unravels like it did earlier on. So, okay, and then all we do, twist that in, figure of 8. Hide the mechanics.
You've got an awesome head.
Yes, there we go.
It's brilliant. So how do you attach it to this then?
Now, what we can either put a balloon on there and slot it in, or we can use a scrap again, which we got here. Can wrap that around this here, and the other ear.
The tiniest bit, you're really stretching that across, aren't you?
Yep. There we are. Okay. I lost it, no? And then get hold of that piece and tuck it around the back. And there is our character. There we are. Turn him round.
Fantastic.
Okay.
There he is.
And obviously you can put some dots in there for eyes.
Yeah, yeah. What are we going to do now, Bob?
Well, should we make the golf bag?
I think we need to make the golf bag.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll put...
Luckily enough, I've prepared some bits.
Have you? Yeah. Wow. I've just noticed off screen, you can't really see this, but Bob has kept the 260 and 160Qs inflated, but rather than falling all over the place, should we show everybody what you've done? Another use for a 160Q or 260Q.
Yeah, you can use a broken one, or you can I can reuse this one if I want, because I've done a very simple soft knot into it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just...
Perfect.
Okay.
That's a great little tip.
Wasted, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so...
Got that free of charge, that tip.
You should put some charges on this,
Bob wants to charge for that tip, everybody. What is a good amount to pay?
Yeah.
£50.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay. So to make the golf bag, we can use 160Qs, 260Qs, as I said, 350Qs, and we can make it smaller or bigger.
Okay.
Like with this, the smaller character, he takes approximately 10 to 12 minutes to make, and the bag about 10 minutes. So we've got 25 minutes altogether, including the cake board. And
what about this guy? How long would you...
He takes a bit longer. He's about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, but the thing is, when you're making something, if you're making it in shop hours, it takes much longer because you've been distracted and so forth. Yeah. So, this is where I say about people when you're designing and making things, you should be thinking about charging more as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously because of the experience I got and the things I do, my prices are a lot higher than most people. Yeah. Some of them are around the same price, but the more design work I charge more for.
Yeah.
Because it's bespoke.
Absolutely.
Not everyone can do it.
Well, I saw the champagne bottle you did recently. Yeah. That was very impressive. It was, 7 feet tall or something like that?
Yes. It's for a regular client that we got. She comes to us every year, and it was a special birthday.
Oh, right. Okay.
So Claire was talking to her, and she was going for some lovely flower bouquets in her colours, which were gold and ivory. And she loves what's the name of it?
Crystal. Louis Roederer Crystal, yeah.
Red Roederer. And they were talking about it, and she said, can Bob make one? Because she's seen the champagne bottle, the bubbles, the foils. And Claire was discussing it with her, and she said, yeah, Bob can do it. How big do you want it? Oh, really, she said. So she said you can go from this side and so forth to full size or giant.
Yeah.
And gave her the price. Oh, okay. She said, well, it is your special birthday, it was the 60th birthday, so why not splash out and make it really unique and have a talking point?
Yeah.
She went away, within an hour, she phoned back, I'll have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was lovely, you know what I mean?
Because it is unique. We've got a picture of it on the screen now, but it's you can see how Bob actually personalised it. And what did you do? You put
I put initials in the background of the label, and I put a date of birth on there as well.
Yeah, so. Are you able to share with us what you charge for that? Because people are always asking, how much should I charge?
Right.
And we believe too many people, as we talked earlier, are not charging enough for their work.
Well, it depends on the time it's taking you, but I did charge her £265 for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's if you look at the cost of the balloons and the fact they're all air-filled, if you look just at that, it's next to nothing, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's right,
maybe, I don't know how many pounds, but not many.
No, it's not.
So it's purely
it's
your
basically
time.
2 bags of balloons.
Fantastic. So there you go. Don't undersell yourself. Anyway, should we get back to
sure.
to this? Thank you for sharing that with us.
Okay. Right, here we go. Our balloons. Now what we're going to do is what we call the flat weave.
All right.
And the nice thing about the flat weave is you can use it for all different designs.
Yeah.
And if we wanted to, we could do like a proper golf bag and have it shaped coming up into a triangle.
Okay.
But this one I've done it simplified so people can follow.
Yeah. Okay. I've not heard the flat weave technique before.
All right. Okay. So here we are. Again, I'm going to measure. It's approximately 6 inches, so I'm going to use my fingers. So you can use a ruler and just line it up. Now, again, I'm going to press on my finger to keep this soft, because as we roll the bubbles round, they're going to get tighter and tighter. So we don't want to make it too firm. So we got one bubble this end. And notice I've left a little bit on the ends there. And this is basically to help tie in.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to bring that in and do a figure of 8 again. I'm going to leave that there because I want it for later.
Okay.
Okay. Now, all you've got to look at is the longest one. So that's the next one we're going to use.
That one.
Yep. Oops-a-daisy, knocking the golf bags over. So I'm going to bring it around, give it a gentle squeeze again, line up like we did it before. Sorry, I'm hitting you there.
That's all right.
Twist, and then bringing this in, around, under again, back, and under. And that, for the moment, is going to lock it into place.
Okay.
Now, sometimes we tie it off, but at the moment, I'll be using them bits later.
All right.
Okay. Now, I'm going to turn it over, and now we've got to do is create these bubbles here. Basically, it's half the size of this bubble.
Okay.
So this is 2 inches, so that needs to be approximately 1 inch.
1 inch. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So what I'm going to do is hold my thumb and finger on there and twist. As you can see, it looks almost half the size, yeah?
When you say half the size,
Half the
you don't
size
mean,
of the
you mean
width.
half the size of the width. Okay.
The width, sorry. Do
Okay.
apologise.
No, that's all right.
And then all I'm going to do is twist it a few times. Fold it over again. Keep them, you'd want it like that. If you're doing a different shape, then you would alter it. Okay, so if you're coming in, you'd move that in and do the same the other side.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and keep it consistent if we can. And then I'm going to squeeze this side, which is in line with the other one. I'm going to put that under my arm.
Okay.
And then I can twist this around. If it's too big, I can let it down. And then I wrap them around each other, like so. And then I have to find the next piece then, and do exactly the same thing. I always work with it inside my body.
Again, it's the longest piece that
Longest
you go
piece,
for.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So you won't forget.
Yeah.
It's always the longest piece. And if you keep twisting from one side to the other, it becomes easier with practice.
Yeah.
And if you start with a 160Q, it's easier to handle,
Okay.
more control, and then you can move up in sizes.
So practice with the 160Q, perfect it, move over to 260s.
Yeah. And then you can twist it again, and then what you do is bring them two in together there,
Yeah.
hold them, and twist this the same way as always. And I give it 3 twists, push together. Now you see how tight and firm that is?
Yeah.
Keeps the
Perfect.
neatness as well. So now I'm just going to do it and not talk. Is that okay?
Go for it.
See? It also depends on the pressure that you put on it.
Okay.
The more you squeeze it, the less you've got to play with.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's not a problem, because we can always add another balloon in.
As we saw earlier.
Sorry about the noise, Greg.
That's all right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
How many are we going for?
6, I think it is.
Bob, you're not going to have enough balloon.
No, I know. It's dreadful.
I hope you've got a solution for that.
We have. What we're going to do, make our bubble. Bring one I prepared earlier.
Another balloon.
Yep. And basically, I'm going to twist these around each other. Before I destroy this one, I'm going to bring it in and tightly curl it around my finger like that. People are scared to stretch. Look how far I can stretch that balloon. And I put 2 knots in there as well. Nice and firm.
Yep.
And then come in and leave that little bit there. We don't want that too big, because otherwise it'll spoil the finish. Again, line up, come over here, same thing. And then do our bubble. And this time, I'm going to put a little pinch in the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use this to tie that one up, because obviously I don't want to distort the shape of this balloon.
Okay.
There you are, tied in. And people say, oh, I can't tie it. But if you stretch it enough, it will tie. Okay. Come in on the end, give it a squeeze. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we are. So this is our bag. Now at the top, we got a couple of bubbles.
Yeah.
That helps open the bag up. So basically, I'm going to squeeze maybe possibly a 3-finger bubble, nice and soft. Again, squeeze it, make another soft 3-finger bubble, creating that. And then I'm going to use the balloon, use my thumb to push the balloon over and roll it round. As you can see how firm they've become now. And then put a bubble in there because I don't want to lose that balloon. I'm going to reuse this, so I don't want to lose the shape, so I'm going to squeeze from the back end, keeping the shape.
Okay.
Okay. Can use that to tie in if I want to, or the other piece. So again, 3-finger bubble. Make it soft. There we go, and another one. I can pinch this and then tie it in, or I can see where I've cut that underneath there.
So you do use lots of different techniques. There's no one set way of doing anything.
Everyone has got different ways of doing things, and you learn quick ways over the time.
Yeah.
Whereas I've been practicing by myself and think, oh, how am I going to save doing that? And that's where it comes into.
Yeah.
That's why when I said earlier that there was no YouTubes or there was no things, I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
And it's stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck hard and fast. So what I've done there is just push that bubble in there.
Okay.
Push that bubble in there. Give that a squeeze. Line it up. And the top of our bag is open. The next thing we're going to do is the wheels. Oh no, sorry, we're going to do the handle and framework.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the back bit there.
That's it. So this bit we're going to do, again, a very soft 3-finger bubble in the 160Q. Same here again. And use that technique again to tie it. And then that's the other method, twist around. And then I'm going to measure from that bubble to that bubble there.
Okay.
Use your hands, your finger there, so you can control it.
All right.
Okay. So we want to measure. Keep it there. This comes with practice, obviously. And then I'm going to use.
That's why I was asking, how many times did you have to practice to get something right? Probably hundreds. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose you just get better at doing the same thing. It doesn't mean you can't sell the earlier ones. It just takes you longer.
It just means that because you can make them quicker, you're going to get more profitability.
Yeah.
You don't drop the price.
Yeah.
But if they can have more, then it gives you more leeway to adjust the price.
Yeah.
If they can have several of these for a display for the table or something like that, you can adjust the price.
Yeah.
Okay, so that piece goes on here. I'm going to basically do just over 2/3 of the bubble there. Yeah. And I'm going to create 2 more bubbles again, as I did earlier. These are the central bits.
Okay.
You can put 4 bubbles in there, 2 bubbles or 3 bubbles. There's no set rule. Some people think, oh, I didn't do that. Always find another way. Okay, here we go. Now then, I want to take this off, so I'm going to use that little piece I had on the end there. At the end of the day, if I was to lose this and use another balloon, it's only 6p, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not that expensive.
No.
So, but if I wanted to, I could use this.
But if you can use it.
Yeah. It might be a little bit short, but I've got that piece there. Actually might use the other piece because it's just a little bit too short.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to attach this here, and I'm going to actually attach this into it using them bits there.
Okay.
But I'll leave that for the moment, and I'm going to measure this now. I want a little bit for the edges to be the balance.
Yeah.
So we've got to think about the length of the wheel. So looking about 1.5 inch bubble to 2 inch bubble. And all I'm going to do is figure eight that into there. And then I can put the bubble on the inside. If you notice the other one, I've used just 2 bubbles.
Oh yeah.
Instead of putting a piece in there. I just wanted to show you it's not all hard and fast. You can adjust and think things about.
Because you probably don't need the stand as much on that one because it's stuck on the base.
That's right.
All right.
And then I'm going to come up to so that's tucked in there. I'm going to come up to this middle bubble here and twist it around and then create another 2 bubbles. Notice I'm stretching that one to make it soft. There we go. Now it's too big there, so I can use that piece if I want to because it's got a better shape on the end.
Yeah.
So I'll use that, and then I can have it straight, or I can have a curled handle by
Doing that thing that I don't like, yeah.
shock.
What do you call it?
Shock twist.
Shock twist.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tie that in there just in case I'd want it to come undone. Don't always have to tie. There we are. We're ready for that piece to go on there, like so, in a moment or two.
All right.
So should we do the next bit?
What's the next bit? Wheels?
The wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wheels.
Okay.
These are silver. I've used the grey on these ones.
Yeah.
I think I've done them at 3.5, but I'm doing these at 4. But I've oversized them and let them down. So I've blown them up so they're just going over their shape, and let them down, tied a knot in, and then I'm going to stretch it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to push them together.
Okay.
And put my thumb on there. But what I want to do, if I want to create this effect, whoops, with a little pieces on the end, then I'd have to attach a piece of 260 around the end here. Should I show you that?
Yeah.
So we tie that on there, and basically I pull the knot down, stretch it, and push in. As you can see my finger, that's the reason why I showed you this. You can see my finger in the center. I'm just going to grab it here and then just twist it.
So is that, what's that twist called? An apple twist?
This is an apple twist, yeah. And then you can get the shape right.
I'm just pleased with myself because I knew it was called an apple twist.
Excellent. I'm going to use a scrap again. I'm going to wrap it around my little finger there. Give it 3 turns. Loop it through there. And again. Whoops, come on. And I've got 2 knots in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be on the inside, that's going to be on the outside. So now I can inflate a round balloon or an end of a balloon. Should we show you? And get it to the size we want. And then just stretch that.
It's so simple.
Yeah, but it adds more detail.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, the more you add, the more time you're putting into it. You know, I think it's all in the detail, to be honest with you. That little extra broom makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Because you can have a wheel finished like this. That looks nice, but that looks even better.
Yeah, yeah. And of course you can charge a bit more.
Yes, yes. We're in here to make money as well. I know we love our job, but we need to get paid for what we're doing.
We do.
Obviously these have to be soft to do this.
So you overinflate them, let them down to 4 inches, then you can manipulate them as you need.
Yeah. I'm using the 260Q because that can be used as well. I tuck it into my finger and keep it tight. Now, some people say they go down. But what it is, you're pinching that too much. So you come in as close as you can, hold it tight, then wrap it round.
Okay.
Okay.
We know that when you're doing that, you should stretch the 260Q so that it constricts the...
That's right, so there's less friction on... Yeah. Oh, I was going to cut that off then, I can't do that. Right, we're going to have a yellow one. Oh, we actually got one here. Right, squeeze that up at the end. We don't need that one, do we?
I'll trust you.
Get them the same size. I wanted to do them this big to show you that it was possible. As I say, they're 3.5 inch and this one's 4 inch, and it still can be done.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is obviously a 5-inch balloon. So what we're going to do here is just use the tail end to tie that in. Again, all I'm going to do is a figure of 8, keeping it tight and then off. And the same on the other side. I could use that piece. I can use that piece. There we go. So then we do put them in position.
Okay.
And then, where are we? We use these pieces here to wrap that in. And on the other side, the same here. Whoops, I'm making that horrible noise, sorry. There we go. And you can see the difference between the larger wheels and the smaller wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the golf carts do have larger wheels on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So if somebody sent you a picture of their golf cart,
Yeah.
then you'd be able to...
Yeah. People do send me all sorts of things to create. Yeah, I've had loads of requests for different things. Now, to attach this here, you can use a bit of bloom bond, or you can use a 260 or a 160. I'm going to use a 260 here because this is what I've got available. Just wrap that around, hold it there and stretch that piece around here. The other one around the other side. And there we go, we just put it all into place. And there we have our golf bag.
Tremendous.
Okay.
So here we have our man. Here we have his golf bag.
Yep.
So now we're just going to put them all together on a base.
Okay.
So obviously you used the cake, what do you call them? Not cake trays.
Yeah, we use the cake board.
Board, that's the word.
Cake board. I prefer to use a cake board.
Yeah.
Simpler, quicker. and cheaper.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks nice, as you said.
Yeah, I think it just adds to it.
But sometimes, you know, if you want it to stand on a buffet table or something like that, you want it to stand out, something like this would do.
Yeah.
It's a 6 bloom cluster.
Yeah.
On the bottom and the top. So we got, with the other ones, we've done 4 3/4 and 4 1/2.
Okay.
So, and then I've tied these to 4 1/2, and I'm just going to bring them in and twist at the back here and here. And then what happens then is we either attach a 260Q to that and lock it in.
Yeah.
On the end, like I've done with the other one here.
Yeah.
And then I've used the tail end of this here and just actually attached some balloon stretchy tape.
Yeah.
Here and here.
So those 2 balloons you just added are basically to extend the base.
Just to extend the base, yeah. And that needs just to be a little bit taller because of the size of the wheels.
Yeah.
And then that would go on there. And then our golfer we can put in any position we want and add the golf club.
Okay. So this is
the balloon bond, isn't it?
Balloon bond, yes. I always get confused. Balloon bond and balloon stretchy tape.
That's right,
stretchy tape, but
all I've done is just 2 strips.
Yeah.
And obviously you need to give it a little bit of a rub before you do this because sometimes it can be a bit of a nightmare. But
what do you mean? Why could it be a nightmare?
Because sometimes when you pull it, it's like chewing gum, it stretches.
Ah, right, yeah.
And it might stick to one and not the other. But where we've cut these and left them on the table, it's much easier to separate the two.
Okay.
Rather than using them straight away.
Yeah.
And it's quite warm in here, which helps a bit.
It is quite warm in here.
There we go. And all I'm going to do is just rub them on there and leave them for a minute.
What happens, because sometimes I've heard of that sort of not sticking properly all the time. Is it normally to do with the heat?
Yeah, it can be the grease on your hands as well.
I see.
Because it can get greasy. So I usually try not to touch the sticky part of it anyway.
Okay, yeah.
And just peel it and put it on. Give it a nice little rub before you do it.
Okay.
And sometimes on balloons it might not stick, but it's brilliant stuff. And then when you've let it settle for a minute or two, it should just peel back quite easy like that.
Yeah.
Okay. As I said, I would stretch that on a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is just line that one up there. Oh, that one's already lined up. And it's got the 2 on there and it's quite stable.
Yeah, yeah.
And for the man, now I'd use a green one, but we haven't got one handy, but I'll show you all I've done is used a 260Q, or we can use another bit of balloon bond and stick him so he's standing completely up. But I'll show you, you know how to do it with a balloon bond and with a 160Q, using the right color, of course.
Of course.
You can either use 2 separate pieces or 1 scrap piece, and then we can just tuck it underneath. And then we can have our golfer with his bag and his...
and there you go.
There we go.
That is fantastic. Look at that. All right, Dr. Bob, thank you very much for coming and talking to us, and thank you for showing us how to make this thing that's perfect for a golfer, for birthday, for Father's Day. But it doesn't have to just be golfers. It can be anything.
No, it can be anything, yeah.
But no, that's absolutely fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed it. I
have.
Definitely enjoyed it. Thanks very much for coming. And thank you to everybody out there for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.